Hello everyone, Father John from St Ignatius Parish, sending you my love and the love of the parishioners in this first Sunday when we're in the corona virus. So hope you're doing okay, and each Sunday I will try, and it's way beyond my capacities, to send you something. So, first of all, our community model of parish. I hope you're doing okay in your homes. It's very important that we keep our parish love reaching out, and that means to your friends, to your colleagues. And don't forget the old people like myself who are over 70, but also the young people under 70 who are living on their own. Keep an eye out and keep the connections going, and that way the love and support will continue. Our Sunday readings for the fourth Sunday of Advent have something for you, and I'd like to speak briefly to both of them. The first one from the book of Samuel can apply very profoundly to your family relations. The prophet Samuel goes to Jesse. He's been told to anoint one of Jesse's sons to be king. So Jesse brings out the oldest, the obvious one, and Samuel looks at him and says no. And then he brings out the second one, the second oldest, and Samuel looks at him and says no. And on they go until there seems to be none of them. And then Jesse says, there is one. He's out in the fields looking after the sheep. And Samuel says, get him. And then he looks at him and he says, yes, this is the one who's got it to be king. The question for us is twofold. One is Samuel the prophet's looking at these boys, but also what about Jesse the dad? What does he see in each son? What is the relationship and the deep seeing of a dad to each of his boys and their uniqueness? Let's add the mum who's not in the story, but who's in those boys' lives. So the first thing is, can we look deeply and take advantage of the extra time we've got together while there is no sports and so on, to make it special, and then see and cherish our children in ever deeper way, encourage their gifts and see if there's any new ones there. Children and young people, take advantage, spend time with your mums and your dad, and make sure that you look for some of the things that you've never appreciated before and tell them. Hopefully this will help family life, and as well keep up the connections beyond your family. The second thing that the readings talk to us is the gospel, and that is about seeing in a more social sense. There is a beggar. Nobody notices him. People walk past him. Jesus sees him. He's at the bottom of the pile. Everybody can leave him there on the street. Jesus sees him and then initiates a conversation, anoints his eyes, sends him off to wash, and the man's eyes are restored. Suddenly in the story, the beggar becomes the center of attention of the religious authorities, and he sees in a different way than they do, and becomes, as it were, a critique of the established religion of the day. He sees things differently, and ultimately he comes, when he meets Jesus, Jesus reveals himself to him, and he sees things even more profoundly, becomes a believer. For us, as we look out on this coronavirus, which is seizing the world, we need to keep one eye out and see differently what is at stake in our communities. It is something which is not only potentially affecting our elderly, it's affecting us all. I know there are many of our parishioners who are worried about their jobs and about their income, and the bills, of course, don't go down. So lots of encouragement to you, but let's also see a little bit more widely. The effects of this virus, on the one hand, are things that fill us with fear. On the other side, they are an opportunity to make bonds of love and care and support, a bit like the disaster, the massacre in Christchurch. This is an opportunity to turn our country into a place where we see one another differently. As we approach Easter, where we'll probably celebrate at home as well, this may be the life-changing possibility for us all. God bless, and if this video has worked, I will be delighted.